It is December, the year is wrapping up, and the big question is, why did 300 software founders join the webinar we just recorded on Wednesday, December 11th? It was jam-packed. We talked about 3 tactics you can use to add $1 million of new revenue quickly. We talked about how to go viral, even if your product isn't. And we talked about what we think the big trends are going to be in 2025. If you want my full slide deck, all you have to do is click the like button here on YouTube and leave a comment below before Wednesday, December 18th. And I'll update the YouTube description with the full link so you have the full Google slide deck. For now though, let's jump into the studio and learn together. If those of you that showed up here and have no idea where you're at, let me just help you get your bearings here really quick. It is December 11th. We are all preparing for what the new year is going to bring. We're trying to figure out how to grow. How are AI agents going to impact our SaaS business, right? What does this mean when everyone's moving to pricing per usage instead of per seat? How do we grow our revenue from 3 million to 6 million? Or maybe you're bigger and want to go from 10 million to 15 million. We have a new administration in the US, and what's that going to mean to the interest rates? If interest rates go down, our private equity shop's going to be more aggressive, and we're going to see M&A pick back up again. What's that going to mean for your valuations? We're going to cover all of that today in the next 47 minutes, and then kick off again the new year. January 22nd at 12 p.m. Eastern will be our kickoff in the new year. So today we're going to focus on, if you want to exit and grow your valuation, what are growth tactics you should copy. Now, before I embarrass myself with this very young picture of me, Mary Beth, no laughing here, okay? This was back in 2009, and I realized I loved money, and so I could not be an architect. I was studying architecture at Virginia Tech. This was when I dropped out. The local magazine featured me. I built a software company called Heyo.com. Now, before John Gallagher, how do you remember Le Jour? That's exactly right. It was called Le Jour early on. I figured if I named it a French word, I could charge more on my pricing page. That was a mess. That was a big failure. Did not work. Guys, we have folks in the studio managing the chat. I want to give you permission though right now to just spam the heck out of the chat with your links. This is the only time you're gonna have to do this. So link me to your website, maybe 3 or 4 words on what you do. I see Michael saying, do you have live conference where we can all network? Michael, this is the best place for that right now. But again, feel free to spam the comments right now. Time control, Chris, good to see you again. Great timesheet system. Who else? We've got funneling.io, Nick Sai, Ben Last. So SenseSpark in the house. Good to see SenseSpark here. Great San Antonio success story. Joe Meyer, Digital Advisor. Bitfreighter is here with Brad. Brad, good to see you. Guys, it's good to see you. In studio, I see it stopped scrolling, so just always make sure that I can see the most recent messages. Otherwise, I can't read. There we go. Wellme.ai, Strongarm is here. Great, guys, it's so good to see you. So let me very quickly embarrass myself. This was back in 2009. We bootstrapped this to about $1 million of revenue. If you're bootstrapped, drop it in the chat. We love bootstrappers or capital efficient folks. I was bootstrapped, and I remember telling my mom I was thinking about dropping out of college. She said, well, Nathan, how big is your team? Isn't that kind of weird? Her first question in terms of measuring success was, how big is your team? And I said, well, Mom, we've got 9, 10 people. So I immediately went out and hired 30 people. 19 years old, bootstrapped $2 million of revenue. And here's what my team looked like, right? Our office in Blacksburg, Virginia, we were getting bigger. And then I said, guys, we've got a great team. And Mom is going, well, wait a second, how are you funding this thing? And I said, and then friends were saying, have you raised VC? And I said, maybe I have to go raise VC. So here's what happened. I'll let you read this highlight. This was a $2 million Series A on an 8.5 pre. So guys, this is what happened. And I said, oh my gosh, Mom, I've made it. I've got a huge team. I've raised VC. Boris, Last, David E. Who wants to see my cap table? Raise your hand. Anyone want to see the cap table? Everyone wants to see a cap table. Here's the cap table. I'm going to let you scan those labels on the right, and you can laugh at me, okay? You have permission to laugh at me. You guys see that? The adult supervision COO, another 9% dilution. That was required, buried in the term sheet, in the closing docs, that I had to bring in a COO, right? So that was 9% dilution. You can see here, this was me. So at $1 million of ARR, I was already diluted down to 38%. Now, I didn't know what this meant until I got this letter. And I want you to read down here in the bottom right. Can you see this number? This was eye contacts offering to buy my first company for $6.5 million cash. And I remember getting this, and there was a lot of negotiation. We finally got to the point where I was going to take it to the board meeting. Yep, Ryan Ellis, exactly. Guys, I walk into the board meeting. I'm 20 years old. In my mind, I'd already done the math. I'm going, okay, 40% of 6.5 million. I'm going to pay a 25% effective tax. That means as a 20 or 21-year-old, I'll have about 1.9 million post-tax cash in the bank. If I do something very boring with that money and earn an 8% annual return, I'm set for life if I keep my monthly expenses low. I'd already planned it out, guys. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this because it was the worst day of my life. I walk into the board meeting. I say, we're going to do this deal, obviously. There was a very awkward silence. And guys, what did they do? We just raised at 10.5 post money. What did they do? Perry's giving me the down thumbs. What did they do? I learned the hard lesson that the second you take $1 of outside capital, you have effectively given up control. And it's at this moment when I said, VC dollars are the best marketed dollars in the world. We are all convinced that we need it to be valid. It's just not the case. Now, there are situations where you are going for such a big home run, you need VC. I'm not hitting that. I'm not knocking that. But what I'm trying to say, and what you're going to learn over the next 47 minutes, is that the lower risk way to build software and spend time with customers you love every day and also generate personal wealth is to raise less than 1x your ARR, stay in control, and do what you want with no board. Okay? We can get an amen for that, right? This is the path to feeling really freaking good every day. So that's what we're going to learn. We've got 64 slides to cover. Here it is. All right, we're going to cover these 64 slides. And as we think about these 9 case studies, so those of you that just joined, again, we're expecting about 150 CEOs live. I think you guys can see the Zoom counter. I can't, so correct me if I'm wrong. But again, we should have somewhere around 100, 150. We love to call this the largest SaaS gathering, CEOs, every month. And I love that you guys are here. We're going to focus on 9 case studies directly from CEOs. These are the 9 case studies on my screen right now. So I'll let you scan these 9 real quick and pick your favorite. Which one is most relevant for you? Just type it in the chat. Nick Sai said ClickFunnels. Just pick a favorite. Gina Kimball, I want to see what you type in there. What's your favorite? Which one of these 9 are you most interested in? Nathan is saying AI agents. A bunch of folks mentioning Clay. A lot of agents. Variable sales from Charles. Nick Saigan said ClickUp. Andrew Norris says backlinks. Pablo, okay, good. Guys, there's a lot of, you can see the comments, there's a lot of folks interested in these. So we've broken up the next, again, so it's 11:10 a.m. Central. I'm going to stay right on time because your time is valuable. Over the next 50 minutes, we've broken up into 3 sections. The first section are 3 tactics where you can add 1 million of revenue quickly. That includes going from 0 to 1 million, so your first million. Or if you guys are already at 4, 5, 6 million of revenue, all these tactics will help you also add an additional million. The second section is all about virality. Now, when you guys read blog posts about this on LinkedIn and you hear about someone going viral, many of you guys, if you're like me, you get frustrated because you go, well, of course, you're a document signing company. Of course you grew using virality. You need 2 people. I can't do that because my product isn't viral, right? So this whole section is going to be about how to go viral if your product isn't. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the future. What is agentic AI? What is price per usage? What will it mean for your niche and your SaaS company? That'll be for the last 10, 15 minutes. I'm pumped talking about this stuff. I can't wait to share this with you guys. Are we ready to rock and roll? Let's round of applause real quick. We're ready to go. Larry Fisher, good to see you. John, Adam Pearl. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So let's jump into the content. Now, here's the framework I want you guys to think about. We're only covering 9 tactics today. When I look at all 3,000 podcast interviews I've done with SaaS CEOs, there are 33 growth tactics that pop up over and over. Sherwin Glenn and Ronan Barrett. These are the 33. Let's put these in a framework. Let's talk about fast growth tactics on the left, slower ones on the right. Cheap ones at the top, expensive ones at the bottom. And let's plot based off the color, which is the job title. All right? So yellow is your paid internal team or your paid, agency, right? Orange is your content team. And what's important as we go through the next 46 or so minutes is to understand how to move through these growth tactics. Lisa Ann said, this is my all-time favorite slide. Lisa Ann, unmute yourself. Anyone agree? Lisa Ann, why do you say this is your favorite slide?
Because it aligns with what is also successful in our organization, and I love seeing it validated, but I also love to see where we're going to focus our efforts in the future.
We love that. Guys, I'm going to give you a little insight into Founderpath's content strategy in 2025. We're just going to go deep on every one of these. So when we're recruiting CEOs to speak at our events, it's going to be per tactic. When we're writing blog posts, it's all going to be per tactic. When we launch a glossary on Founderpath and a how-to guide, it's going to be for each of these tactics, sorted by revenue ranges, right? So if you guys are experts in any one of these, we'd love to feature you on one of these webinars, on one of our stages in person, etc. We'll build this together over the next 12 months, and it'll be a living document. So Lisa Ann, I'm glad you enjoyed this slide. Now, if you guys are under $1 million of revenue, which quadrant do you want to start in? Upper left, upper right? Point. You can point. Which quadrant? Oh God, now I feel like I'm on drugs because everyone is, depending on your flip screen or your not flip screen. We want, exactly, you guys said it, we want cheap and fast, right? If you're bootstrapped and pre-revenue, you need stuff that works quickly that costs no money, right? That's upper left, so that's less than $1 million. Only after you have more than $1 million should you experiment with things in the upper right? Things that are a little slower but still cheap. And then once you have scale, and only then should you go to these items below the line because they cost money. And cash is king and queen. We love queens too, okay? They're king and queen. 3 to 5 million AR bottom left. Once you're above 5 million, start playing down there in the bottom right. Thumbs up. Are we aligned on the framework? Are we good to go? Okay, we're aligned. I'm feeling the energy. I see all the thumbs up. Let's keep moving forward into the content. Now, we're going to cater a bunch of the content today specific to where you are. So I'm going to launch this poll right now. Out of curiosity, what's your guys' revenue range today? Who's pre-revenue, which we love? You got to start somewhere. Who's 500K to 4 million of ARR? Where is everyone? You should see a poll on your screen. Go ahead and answer that for me so we can customize the next 6 slides. And what's cool about this, again, we want this to feel like a backyard barbecue with 100 of your best friends just hanging out. We're going to share this slide back to you here in a second, so you'll see exactly who else here is live, okay? All right, we'll give you guys 6 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to end the poll, and then I'm going to share it with you here on the screen. So let's look at these results together, okay? 25% of you are pre-revenue. There's 28 of you live right now doing more than 4 million of revenue. And then a huge chunk of you guys are between 500K and 4 million of revenue. Over 80% of you are actual CEOs, which raise your hand if you're the CEO or founder. You own a big chunk of equity. Raise it high. Guys, look around. Scroll on the little Zoom screen. Go backwards and forwards. I mean, this is the largest gathering of SaaS CEOs all together learning every month. And sorry for the studio crew because everyone throws their hand up and messes with our thing, but you guys will fix that. It'll be fine. All right, let's jump into section 1. Let's jump into section 1 here. How did ClickUp get 1,538 clicks for free early on? How did ClickFunnels get 6,300 backlinks without paying an outside agency? How did metadata build a Trojan horse for content creation? And Gil, if you're here with metadata, throw your name down there in the chat. Just say hello so I know that I can unmute you here in the next couple minutes as we go through this content. All right, let's jump into, okay, let's stop sharing the poll. There we go. I stopped sharing it. Let's get into this first question. How did ClickUp break their first 10 million bucks of ARR? Now, if you're not familiar with ClickUp, you guys can go right here. You can look at my screen. I'm going to show you their revenue graph. I'm going to type ClickUp here. I'm going to click it. And let's just scroll down here to the graph. Right, so 2016, 2018, $1 million, 37 million, right, by 2021, scaling from there. And when you go down and look at how they funded the business, right, they bootstrapped or they stayed fairly capital efficient. These convertible notes here were from the founder. He had a prior exit. They didn't raise outside capital until 2020 as they scaled. So let's go in and take a look at how they did this with compare pages. Now, these are a couple compare pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you guys know which compare page gets the most traffic per month? If you had to guess just based off design, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jimmy held up 3. You guys can hold up fingers or type it in the chat. Larry's guessing 1. Larry Fisher. Joseph is saying 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we think? I'm seeing some 3s. I'm seeing some 1. It's a wide variety, right? It's a wide variety. All right, let's jump into these. All right. The best, most productive compare pages. I guess before I jump into this, I take it for granted sometime. If you don't know what a compare page is, type no in the chat. Please be vulnerable, because then I'll spend like another minute just explaining it really quick. If you don't know what I'm talking about, type no in the chat. And Jimmy's like, maybe. Who knows? Guys, who knows this really well? Unmute yourself. If you know compare pages really well and you're doing it yourself, unmute yourself. Anybody? No one wants to. There we go.
You yourself versus your top competitors.
All right, Brendan Booth, say it again. Brendan's brave. He unmutes himself. Brendan, so what's your company and what define a compare page? What does it mean?
So my company is Rico.ai. We're a cybersecurity startup. But basically, you want to highlight your top competitors and quickly summarize why your company.
Exactly.
It's got to be simple. That's why I think it's number one.
Yes, it's very easy to execute. Remember, it's cheap and fast, right? That's what we're talking about today. This is an example of a great page. Now, you might look at this and go, well, why is this a great page? I don't know what it means. It's basically ClickUp versus Asana. What makes it a good page? There's a couple things that I want you guys to write down or screenshot or whatever you have to do. The first, in the headline of your compare page, you want to search the number one reason you beat out competitors. It's not the same for all of you. One of you might win against competitor X because you're faster. You might win against competitor Y because you're cheaper. You might win against competitor Z because you have better support. So each compare page, the H1 tag, that top SEO headline should align with why you win most frequently. Okay? And you want to include keywords that people use when they're searching in ChatGPT and Google search, like what is the top competitor or the biggest alternative, right? Or the top 10 alternatives. Next, you want to do this checklist approach. The biggest mistake people make here is they just shit all over their competitors. You don't want to give your competitors all X's, because then you lose trust with the reader. Now, they already know you're biased because it's your compare page, but try and really be factual in your checklist. Try and be unbiased, right? Try and be unbiased. The bottom 3 sections, you want to do this. Try and get quotes from customers that actually switched, and put those specific ones on those compare pages. So I switched from Asana to ClickUp because of X, Y, and Z. Very powerful. Next, the call to action section. The biggest mistake people make on this button on their compare page is they say sign up for free. No, you want to make the button actually say the biggest reason you win. If you're cheaper, say compare prices. If you're faster, say compare speed. If you have more features, say compare features. Guys, thumbs up or down. You with me? Is this sort of hitting home a little bit? Tactical stuff? Okay, good. So this is all making sense. And then lastly, the SEO sub-headlines. You want to use things, again, like top competitor to X, easier to use, cheaper than, because ultimately, 5 years from now, when Google search is dead and everyone is figuring out what software to buy by using ChatGPT and Claude and all these other tools, you're not going to show up in those AI results unless you are writing your SEO headlines the same way someone searching would talk to one of those chatbots. So write your headlines in that way. Write your headlines in that way. Okay, so that's the summary. Now, here's actually the actual data behind ClickUp's page. This is the traffic they get. Now, you'll see on the left, if you add up all that organic traffic from all their compare pages, it's well over 1,500 clicks per, this is monthly. What they also found, though, is this is the highest intent traffic and buyers. It's the biggest return they have on their ad spend, which is why you see them putting a bunch of paid behind the organic free strategy as well. So this is compare pages. The question was, how did they break revenue early with cheap and fast growth tactic? The answer, one of the early answers, was compare pages. Let's jump into case study number 2 out of 9. How did ClickFunnels get 6,300 backlinks? This is ClickFunnels revenue growth. This is ClickFunnels revenue growth. Now I see someone just asked in the chat, will this be shared, the recording. Now, guys, a bunch of you guys, I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm going to send it out to everybody here right now. Everyone will receive the full slide deck and the recording 6 days from now. Those of you that paid $47 to get it early will get it 2 days from now, right? So that's what that Luma FP3 link is. If you want it early and quick, you can go back to Luma 3 and buy the fast version. Otherwise, everyone will get it in 6 days. All right, let's go back to ClickFunnels here. How they build the backlinks. This is the page. Look at this page. This is the page. What is this thing? Looks ugly. It might as well have Cosmic Sans font. You're telling me, Nathan, you're kidding. This page has 6,300 backlinks. What is this? What is this? Well, do you guys remember the HubSpot website grader? Or how Security Scorecard launched their free reports? The concept here in terms of the growth strategy is free tools. Free tools. And the biggest mistake most of us make when we think about free tools is we think expensive and slow. These tools, I'm going to show you them, okay? They're not rocket science, guys. Like, let's go down here and look at the it's a privacy policy generator, right? You click it. It's like a super simple template with an opt-in here. This is easy stuff. So a lot of people, the invoice generator, let's look at that. Same thing here. You upload a file, it's like an output, right? It's like some input field. This is super simple tech. All of these things, you can screenshot this page, go on Fiverr, create a job, and say, please, Mr. or Mrs. Freelancer, build me a version of this for my industry, right? You can execute this free tool strategy for under $250 per free tool. I mean, just giving you some ideas here, right? Per free tool and get it live. Now, some of you guys do this already. If you have your own free tools and those landing pages are working for you, you have my permission to put them in the chat right now because others can click it and get ideas. So this is how we teach each other. Again, if you have some sort of free tool or a landing page where you like auto-generate free reports or something and it's working, don't give me the bad stuff, okay? Give us the good stuff in the chat. We want to learn from you. All right, so you can see the ideas here, a lot of different ideas. And when we go here and move forward, guys, here's the traffic. Here's the traffic. So this is the clicks per month. And see, I love this. You guys are all teaching each other, right? So you can scroll up and down the chat here and see some of the folks posting their free tools ideas, right? But 3,900 clicks. But the bigger issue is, or the bigger thing is this. This. Raise your hand if you guys know SEO and you know what DR means. Who knows what DR means? All right, John Hart, teach us real quick. What's DR mean? Unmute yourself. What's DR mean?
It's domain rank. It's how powerful a site is.
And what are one of the key drivers of getting a higher domain rank up to 91?
Links.
Backlinks, guys. It's backlinks. Most of us are lazy. We go try and hire a backlink agency and they say, well, we'll give you a backlink for $200 and we'll go get 1,000 and you pay 200 grand. Or you could go pay a Fiverr freelancer $250 5 times and launch some free tools, right? And generate backlinks to drive up your domain rating. Right? Domain rating, look, Kyle, I don't agree. I don't disagree with the comment you just left, right? I wouldn't focus exclusively on DR. That's an output, but the input is backlinks. And the input that you guys control as founders and growth folks is the free tool, launching the free tools. This worked great for ClickFunnels and it boosts the entire site. Let's jump into case study number 3 here. How do you get 100 experts in your space to teach for you for free? And Gil, if you're here, just type here in the chat and I'll sync to you since this is your event and I'm basically analyzing your own strategy here, right? But Gil at Alush at Metadata, right, launched this tactic, right? It's a digital event, right? How do we host our own digital events cheaply and quickly? Now, a lot of people mistake these digital events. They go, oh, it's a conference, they want to make money. But let's take a deeper look at this. Let's actually go to the landing page, right? thedemandevent.com. And you see here the event from 2024 and the other ones. And you see here, you get the webinar replays, you get the recordings, etc. Right? A lot of output for one digital event. But let's move forward here, guys. What are the other assets? Let's think like an investment manager, like a capital allocator. What are the other assets that a digital event creates? Put it in the chat. I've got some ideas here on the right, but what are the other assets that get created? Come on. Throw your best idea in there. Ben Lash, short form clips. Nick, playbooks. What else? Joe, community. Exactly. What else? Ebook, says Larry. Yep. Customer test. Exactly. Slides, blog posts, brand. You guys nailed it. You nailed it. The slides, the recordings, the transcripts, roundtables, infographics. You guys, these are all great ideas in the chat. So here's the biggest mistake that a site like Demand24 makes, right? When you go in and look at this, let's go look at one of the recordings. Let's do this one. Look, it's great that they have the video here, and it's great they have the slides, but if you guys get an email and says, you missed Demand24, all the replays are available, click here to view, you're very unlikely to engage in that. What you actually want to know is what slide has the most data on it relative to your niche. So the subject, hey, Joe Meyer, you missed the event, but click slide 63 in this keynote because it's relative to your niche and your price point. It's going to be way better than click here for a YouTube recording. You can't do that kind of in-depth tagging unless you go invest in the transcripts, right? Let's look at another one. Again, golden hour. We love audience. I love what obviously that crew is building, right? But you go here to the replays and it's same thing here. Now, the interface here is a little nicer, right? And it looks like they're charging for it too now, which is, oh, that's an exclusive. Let me go to not exclusive, all right? So again, nice video here. They even have the transcript. But again, people don't know what to search for in this transcript to find the parts they want. What I like to do is just go, listen, just tell me your revenue. Do they mention revenue anywhere in the chat over here? Okay, let me go watch that segment, right? Because they're going to hopefully talk about real concrete data points. So the question is, when you build one of these online events, what you're actually doing is building, it's basically your one-day studio where you're convincing 100 experts to create content for you so that you don't have to go pay your own content team, right? Who probably isn't going to be as good as the CEOs anyway that you invite to your event. This is hard for me to teach because I don't quite know how to teach it. It's way easier for me to just show you guys and make you sort of feel it. So let me drop this link in the chat. Here, you guys can feel this yourselves. Go to that link I just put in the chat. When we do our events at Founderpath, and let's all scroll down here together, we put all the recordings and the slide decks, but look at what else we generate. You guys just mentioned it in the chat. You said, oh, that's going to waiting room participants. Let me go to everybody in the meeting. Is that working, guys? Does that link show up? All right, go feel this for yourself. It's going to be way more powerful than me showing you on Zoom. Go feel this for yourself, okay? As you go down this page, you're not just getting the recording. You're not just getting the slide deck. Henry Schuck, we made him give us his actual LOI that he got when he was 27 years old, and you can download it up there at the top. These are artifacts, infographics. Let's scroll down the screen a little bit. Let's say you're Adam Pearl or you're John Armstrong watching and you're going, Nathan, I don't know where to start. Guys, see my mouse? Click this button right here. Click this button. What do you see when you do that? Click list. Now, everything is sorted and tagged by the CEO's revenue and what the slide deck focused on: founder strategy, engineering, marketing growth, sales, customer success. So if you're on right now, maybe Michael Flato, I'm guessing, but let's say you're 2 million of revenue trying to go to 5 million and you want more courses on marketing and growth, you could click right here, 12 courses, and will instantly show you all the data from that segment. Now, this is obviously a huge SEO play as well. So I'm not going to go in here and talk about like our full strategy. You guys can execute your own ideas here, but the point is hosting a digital event basically creates all the content you need for the next 2 years, right? You just have 5 stages of 20 minutes each in one day and you get 180 pieces of content from folks in your space. Now, maybe you're not quite sure what to search and you just want to say, you know what, Nathan, just show me what you guys got on growth, right? You can just type growth. Now, how is this working? Well, the only way this works is because all the transcripts are loaded into our backend. To give a quick teaser to what we're going to be talking about 17 minutes, what you actually want to do with this transcript data is build your own retrieval augmented, you guys know where I'm going? RAG. A RAG database behind your LLM so that when your user base asks questions to the LLM, it talks to the RAG and gives them content back they can't get anywhere else on the internet because you own the content. You're now Walt Disney, and your IP is Cinderella and Mickey Mouse. Each speaker is a piece of IP at that point. You see what I'm saying? This is how you think about content, EL, you want Snow White, you can have Snow White. Okay, I get the 7 dwarfs. I like a 7-to-1 ratio, okay? But this is how you guys think about content. Did that land? I don't know. That's the first time I've taught that. Thumbs up or thumb. Did that land at all? Maybe? Okay. I'm not quite feeling as much energy on that one, so maybe we'll skip that in terms of future growth tactics. But again, you guys now have that database. So summing up section 1, I showed you the 6-part template to use for your compare pages. I showed you how to use a free tools by using Fiverr freelancers to generate thousands of backlinks like ClickFunnels. And we talked about how to use a digital event to set your content up for the whole rest of the year. One day, huge output. All right, guys, on a scale of 0 to 10, before we jump into section 2 and 3, the next 6 case studies, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being you learned at least or got at least one idea here in the first 33 minutes, where are we? 0 to 10, 10 being you got at least one idea, 0 is like you're bored as hell, you want to go get Chipotle for lunch, you're hungry, you want to leave. Okay, Anoop said 3, kick Anoop out. Anoop is gone. Everybody wave to Anoop. Anoop, bye Anoop. Anoop said 3, bye Anoop. We love you, Anoop. I'm just kidding. That's terrible of me. I know that's terrible. Whatever, we have fun, okay? I'm allowed to have fun. It's my webinar. All right, let's jump into section 2. All right, virality. Virality. How many of you guys believe you have a not viral product? Type not viral in the chat. I'm going to type not viral. I think we have a not viral. I know we do not have a not viral product. I know we don't, because you could just do it with one person. There's no teams. There's no invite your friends. There's no you need 2 people to sign the document. We're just not inherently viral product. All right, let's talk about this first with PandaDoc. Here's PandaDoc's revenue growth. Here's their revenue growth. Guys, how are we feeling at the backyard barbecue? How many people do we have? I can't see. What do you put in the chat? What do we have? 150, 180, 170? We love CEOs. We love the CEOs. We're having fun. All right, PandaDoc in the early days. Oh, 312, very cool. We love that. Drawer is here. Drawer, you must have been somebody that picked Drawer. Drawer, unmute yourself really quick.
Oh, no.
All right, guys, I'm going to grill Drawer. Give it up to him so he gives me more information. Come on, Drawer, we're rooting for you. Give me all your data. No, you've said this before. You guys just passed, 50 million of revenue, right?
Yeah.
Say it louder. I can't hear you.
Yes.
50 million, right? And guys, it's Coro.net. So again, if you have a 50 million revenue CEO making him get on these webinars every month, carve it up. lu.ma/FP4, January 22nd. Don't miss it. What is Coro focused on to grow from 50 million to 100 million, Drawer, growth-wise?
So our focus was a very aggressive go-to-market, identifying, really understanding our ICP and going after that ICP very aggressively.
Yeah. What do you guys think what's your target? What do you want to grow percent-wise year over year, end of 2025? You want to grow 30%, 100%, 20%?
Somewhere between 80 to 100%.
80 to 100. Well, hey, we're rooting for you, man. Thanks for jumping on. All right. Guys, again, Luma/FP4 in the chat if you want to reserve your calendar for next month. But here's PandaDoc's virality. I don't have to teach you this. You guys already know this, right? PandaDoc is inherently viral because it takes 2 people to sign a contract. 1 user turns into 2. Here's the math that I want you to pay attention to. I'm going to pause for 60 seconds so you can digest this slide. It's kind of complex. And when you have an answer for my question, type it in the chat. Should you focus on number of invites or acceptance rate? If you are the head of growth or the CEO at a company, you're trying to juice a virality, whether it's organic or paid or something else, what should you optimize? Number of invites or acceptance rate? Okay, Kyle saying acceptance. Some invites. Okay, I would say it's like 70% acceptance in the chat, and the rest are saying invites. All right, let me show you the next slide. Should you focus on the viral coefficient on the last slide, or how fast you get someone to invite one of their friends to your tool? The cycle time. So coefficient or time? Coefficient or time? There is no debate here. It is very clear. And the answer is time. It is much better when a new user signs up for your platform to get them to invite someone else fast. 1 person fast versus 10 people slow. right? 1 fast versus 10 slow. Now, let me break down. You can see sort of what that means here, right? The red is fast cycle time, right? Now, a lot of you guys have a product that is not inherently viral in terms of a viral coefficient, invites being sent out, etc. So what we want to focus on now are ways to manufacture virality that any of you guys can do. So let me rephrase that. These are economic incentives you can use on your new users or your freemium users to get them to send invites faster, send them more, and increase the acceptance rate. Let's learn from Nathan Barry here at ConvertKit. Now, I had a great interview with him. He does it better than I do. Listen to minute 30:18. This is right out of the podcast. Let me play this here, and hopefully this works. Guys, when I click play, if you can hear the volume, just give thumbs up so I know it's working. Ready?
This year, so last year, maybe we were driving 2,000 to 3,000 visitors a week through Powered by Links. And then after launching Freemium, scaling that up, we're now driving 14,000, 15,000 visitors a week from.
Did you guys hear that? 14 to 15,000 clicks a week from Powered by. And that number was up from 2,000 a week because of their freemium plan. So they launched a freemium plan specifically to create an army of marketers, and it juiced their clicks from 2,000 a week to 14,000 a week just from Powered by. That's why I say if you're going to do a freemium plan, don't just launch a freemium plan. Also launch the Powered by logo, right? And also launch an affiliate program. So I'm not going to give the full interview here with Nathan. You can go look it up if you want to read more there on YouTube. But that's the power. So number one, to manufacture virality, again, those Powered by links. Number two is what Expandy has done. Here's Expandy's revenue graph. Okay, so let's look at what Expandy has done, right? This is their affiliate program. Look at the commission structure across the bottom of my screen. Real quick, guys, the Powered by links, for those of you that are confused. If you use ConvertKit for free, every email you send will say Powered by ConvertKit at the bottom. People click it, and then more people come in, right? That's what Powered by means. You make people pay to remove your branding from that installation, right? That thing that you help your customers do. Let's go back to Expandy though really quick, right? This is their payout structure. How many of you guys have an affiliate program? Type affiliates in the chat and specifically put it all caps if they're driving you a lot of revenue, right? 100 grand of MRR, 200 grand of MRR. Ben Last, can you tell me what your numbers are? Like what MRR have affiliates driven you?
As SendSpark, it's probably, I'd say close to 20, 25K new MRR every month from a SendSpark standpoint.
Can I put you on the spot? Can I ask you what your total ARR is today?
I wouldn't want to reveal that. I think Bethany might be on the webinar, mate. But
you're SendSpark. Yeah. Sorry, Ben.
Correct.
Yeah, Bethany. Let me get Bethany so that you don't get in trouble. Bethany, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I won't ask your revenue because I know you won't share. But can you quantify, like to some degree, like how successful or not your affiliate program has or has not been, so others can learn? Just teach the rest of the founders here.
Yeah, it's actually been surprisingly successful considering that we haven't put a ton of effort in. So I bet if we did more, we could have it be really successful. But we've done a little bit, and just to prove out the concept, and it's been pretty strong.
Can you tell us how you decided to determine what to pay out affiliates when they drove you customers?
We have 2 tiers. So one is like general, like 15%, and then we have a premium tier for like affiliates that we've sussed out, that we know they like have a YouTube channel or something that's more relevant. And so for them, we pay 20%.
Okay, and is that 20% in perpetuity or just for year one?
It's perpetuity. But honestly, like we might change it. Like that's something we just started with, and I was thinking about changing it to have something that is like shorter term, so it doesn't go on forever, but it's like higher, like maybe 40% for your first like 6 months or something. Because I think people like making more money up front, and it's worse for us to pay out forever. So it's still a little bit in flux.
Well, guys, if you want to check out SendSpark, I use it to send custom videos. I record the video once. I use the word watermelon, which is the same as a merge field in email, and they replace the word watermelon with the name of the person I'm emailing. So every video it'll say, "Hey Axel, or "Hey Jim," or "Hey Jimmy," but really when they're recording, I'm saying, "Hey Watermelon." You guys recognize it, you replace it, it's a great tool. So, and you guys seeing John Hart saying it's great. So there's their link, guys, in the chat. Bethany, thanks for being so transparent there. We appreciate it.
Oh, thanks.
All right. So guys, here's what I'll tell you. There is no right rule about how to launch an affiliate program. What I will tell you though, is that most of these affiliate programs are run on these 8 tools. Your competitor is probably running their affiliate program on one of these tools, right? Why is this powerful? Well, because when you have this slide, once you get the recording or whatever, you can go in here. Let's go to Get Redidus. And Joran, are you live?
I am.
Ah, he's here. Amazing. Okay, real quick. Just like give me 30 seconds on what Redidus is.
We help SaaS companies to set up an affiliate program. And then next to that, we have an affiliate network. So besides, I guess, just setting up the program, we can also help them to get inbound requests from affiliates.
Mm-hmm. So guys, the reason we like this is, guys, you can go here, look, you see what everyone's paying. If you see you see what everyone's paying, right? So maybe you want to know what Miro, right? Joran just closed Miro. What is Miro paying on their affiliate program? Well, here it is, right? They're paying 30% for a 12-month duration. They don't allow you to get commissions via paid search ads, right? You can sort of see how they structure that. This is also a great way. One of you said, how can you track links? Joran, folks can use Get Redidus to manage the affiliate program, right? To give links out to their users to track, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, like the affiliate management tools should provide you the links to actually do all the tracking for you.
Yep. So guys, if you want to go explore, like that's the link to the Redidus marketplace. You can see right there, your competitors will probably be there. You can also look at PartnerStack, Flex Offers, Tolts.io, Zinfy, ShareASale, Rewardful, and First Promoter. I guarantee your competitors are one of those tools. So go explore what everyone else is doing and then build your own. I don't have time to dive into each of these tactics, but the biggest challenge folks have once they set up the program is how to get new leads, like new affiliates. My favorite tactic, Bethany, who's the biggest, or Ben, who's the biggest competitor to SendSpark? Like the biggest, like someone with like 100 million of revenue.
Vidyard. Vidyard or Loom. I'd say those 2 tools primarily.
All right, let's do this live and see if this works. Now, I might get egg on my face here, but let's do it anyway. What we're looking for is how to recruit more SendSpark affiliates. So how might we do that? Well, we could just go in here and search Vidyard webinar, because what we should get is a bunch of affiliates posting the Vidyard webinar replays, right? Or Vidyard, like tutorials or things like that, right? So let's go look. Okay, this is Vidyard, so that's not useful. This is 10 bound, but only 17 views. That's not useful. It's not worth recruiting them. 4 years ago, 164. Okay, so this one, look, I'm getting egg on my face, right? Like it didn't quite work with this one. Vidyard, but that's Vidyard. We want to find influencers basically that they're recruiting. Okay, no, that's different. Go ahead.
Nathan, a quick tip for the group. There is a way that you can interrogate backlink URLs. They have specific affiliate codes in backlink URLs. There's like specific codes that show that they're an affiliate. So if you use like a SEMrush or something like that, you can actually mine those backlink URLs to find affiliates that are already promoting Vidyard as well.
I love that. Look, here's a good example, actually. I'm wiping the egg off my face now, right? Rob, right? He's not with Vidyard. He clearly is a Vidyard affiliate, right? He's promoting them. And if we go down here, I'm going to guess in the description, we're going to see a tutorial, right? Which links to a bunch of his affiliate links. You can see them all down here, right? So this is someone that SendYard could go after because they've already proven they can get views for this kind of content, and Vidyard, right, is in the title. It's what they're promoting. So that's what we mean by using YouTube. You can also go to pave.com. I'm not going to give a tutorial of this, but pave.com lists a bunch of newsletters in the B2B SaaS space and tells you what the writers of the newsletters will charge to put your ad in their newsletter, along with cost per click and things like that. So that's just paved.com. Write that down, check it out later. Lastly, if you want to recruit affiliates, the biggest one you can get is whoever has the Wall Street Journal best-selling book in your space. If you're building a product-led SaaS company, well, go recruit Wes Bush to be your lead affiliate because he's a great writer, content creator, but he doesn't have his own software yet. This is what now I'm going to forget it. What's the company called? Is it 90.io? Right, built in EOS software. And how do they promote it? They use Traction, the Traction book, and the EOS community, the EOS book. Right, so that's how this all works together. All right, let's wrapping up section 2 here. We've got 14 minutes left in the webinar. Here is section 2. We talked about how to go viral if your product isn't inherently viral. We talked about PandaDoc, Powered by Links, and the referral program. I'll give you 10 more seconds to review this before we get into our last section and the last 7, 8, 9 case studies. How's our energy level now? Joseph, you want to unmute yourself? How you feeling, man? Joseph Meyer, he's having a blast. How are you, man?
I'm good. Sitting here in Palm Beach, enjoying the weather. So for everybody who's cold, I feel for you. But A lot of great stuff. This is a fire hose. Thank you very
Just
much.
rub it in, huh? Just rub it in, man. Where's your tan? You got to get that. You got to get that Palm Beach tan going.
I've been in the office since 4:30 this morning. So.
Fair enough. Hey, it's always good to see you. I know you always carve
Thanks.
time out of your month to join, and I just want you to know I see you, and we appreciate you coming on and contributing every month. All right, guys, let's wrap up here with section 3. Now, you might be looking at some of these tactics going, I'd love to do these, but they would require like a little bit of capital, maybe 50K, 100K, 200K. Well, we're going to launch a poll really quick. And what this poll is me just asking you, would you consider additional capital right now from my fund? So this is our fund that I operate out of, founderpath.com. We've deployed $180 million to date to over 500 CEOs, all non-dilutive. So like Brent Young, Chuck Whitman, you guys keep all your equity. Because remember my horror story from earlier on? Riley, hold on, you taking a picture of me? Hold on, let me pause. Get the tricep, okay? Oh, I saw Riley's camera, that's great. Right, but guys, we would love to fund you. The whole idea is to help you not make the mistake I made early on. Keep your equity, drive growth. Please use our money. Now, I'm not a charity. We obviously make money on this too, right? But we'd love for you guys to use our fund. So go ahead and answer the poll on your screen right now if you would consider some capital to help us fund your 2025 growth plan. Just answer the poll and I'll reach out to you guys after. Here are some example deals that we've closed recently. So you can see sizing, amounts, how it works. All right. In 9 seconds, I'm going to close this and we're going to get into the last 3 case studies. 6, 4, 2, 1, and we will end that poll and we will move on to the last section. Section 3. Guys, I am so excited about this. I've gone down rabbit holes over the past couple of months. You hear everyone saying, oh my gosh, LLMs, RAGs, Claude, like llama. I'm like, llama like the animal? No, like llama Facebook, open source. I'm like, what the hell is a llama? Okay, just so you guys know, I'm not a tech person, but like I can wrap my head around this stuff. So bear with me. If you're someone watching and you're a CEO and you're not an engineer and you're going, I've stayed away from this AI, like this agentic AI RAG database stuff because I don't get it, just stick with me. It's easier than you guys think, I promise. Stick with me here. All right, let's talk about AI agents, Clay, and building your influence. I thought long and hard about revealing this tool because when I find something that gives me true alpha, I really actually I love you guys, but I don't want to tell you because if everybody does it, it loses the advantage for moi. And I care about me first. But I said, you know what? I have to share this one because it feels like magic. It just feels like magic. Now, let me show you what I mean by this. So in Studio, let's go ahead and drop that link for Cast Magic. Just stick it in the chat. So guys, here's how Cast Magic saves me a ton of time. Now, I'm actually going to show you this, okay? I'm going to sign in to Cast Magic. Here's what this is. If I take a YouTube recording or a speech that someone gave at one of our events or anything like that, I upload it to Cast Magic right here. Or a webinar. Like, look here, let's do it for the last webinar, an old webinar we had, right? Do you guys see these things across the top? It's basically light agentic AI. So here's what I do. I know you guys are most likely to click on my emails with the webinar replay if I include numbers and data points. But I don't want to listen to the full 80-minute webinar to remember all the numbers and data points. So what do? I click create content and I have all these prompts that I have saved in Cast Magic to scan the transcript and give you the data. So let's say this. I'm going to say Cast Magic, list all the numbers in this recording, and let's see what it does. Now remember, you guys know every podcast I do, what am I doing? I'm getting numbers. So getting the quick export of all the numbers I collect in one shot with transcripts and a quick summary of each, look at this. What does this become that you see on my screen? This becomes the YouTube description with links so you can click to specific sectors. This becomes the blog post. It becomes the tweet. It becomes the newsletter. It becomes the magazine article. So now what do? We say, okay, take those numbers and write a 6,000 word magazine article. How many of you got, anyone have Latka magazine? Anyone have it nearby? Hold it up. If you got it on your desk, hold it up. I'll have to do something special for you. If you have it, hold it up if you've got a copy. But look down here, guys. You can see down here, I've already saved this prompt into Cast Magic down here, right? I have the LinkedIn post prompt, newsletter prompt, key learning prompt, resources, standout testimonials, final thoughts, tweet thread, etc. And I just remember, because this is a webinar, we won't have oh, here we go. There is. It writes the magazine article. Now, here's the thing, guys. This saves me 80% of my time. I still read this word for word and add in my own thoughts. Like, I'll say, that number's high, I think this company's going to fail. Or that number's like really low, but they're crushing it. They're going to be big in 2025. The point here, though, guys, is you save those prompts in here and it auto-generates this content for you, enables you to create this content machine, right? That enables you just to drive and get way more done quickly. It's how I save so much money. How many of you guys, when you saw that happening on the screen, you go, oh my gosh, this feels a little bit like magic? Type magic in the chat. I mean, Raymond Barris, are you here? Is he here?
Yes.
Okay. We have the founder of Cast Magic. How did you come up with this idea? Because you can see everyone saying in the chat, it feels like magic.
Well, scratching our own itch. I've been running a podcast called DTC Pod for about 4 years, and we were paying an agency like $5,000 a month just to listen to every single recording. And it was just really time consuming to wait for them to listen to the entire recording and create all of the marketing assets. They also needed to understand the context. So ChatGPT was coming out at the time, and we said, hey, maybe we should try to solve this problem for ourselves. And so we built a solution for ourselves. It worked. We launched it out to the world, and turns out a lot more people had this problem than we thought, because it wasn't just podcasters. It was coaches, marketers, content teams, and even people who just have Zoom calls and turn them into content.
Yeah. Guys, we love this tool. Now, Gina, guys, look at Gina's comment. Do you guys agree or disagree with Gina's comment she just left? Here's why Cast Magic is so valuable. The winners next year and the year after, you want to own content. Again, just like Walt Disney creates Mickey Mouse's IP, that generic LLMs can't touch because it's hidden behind a RAG database or your own internal systems. If you today go into Claude, right, and I'm going to search something that I know I have the data. So I know I have Expandy's revenue because he gave it to me in the podcast interview. Let's ask Claude. What was Expandy's 2023 revenue? Now watch what happens. They don't know. That's my advantage. That is my IP moving forward in a world where search traffic goes down. Our podcast and that data we collect, our own, that is our IP, because these LMs can't read it. What Cast Magic is doing is transcribing it on the back end and pulling these numbers out that the regular like Claudes and ChatGPT, they don't get that data, right? So this is a very, very real advantage. And look, I only like to share tools with you guys once I've already tested it and I'm loving it and I'm using it. I am using Cast Magic. Ramon, are you sick of me emailing you product ideas?
No, I love it.
We love it. So guys, listen, if you want to do what I do, I encourage you to test it. We'll drop the link one more time in the chat so folks can go check it out. It is an affiliate link, so we make money on that, which is great. You know, we'll be transparent about that. But again, we use this. I love it. Highly recommend it. All right, let's jump into Clay. And one of the funny things about Clay is, like, you go look at all the affiliates they've got on YouTube. Look at how young, I mean, it's like all the young people. They love these agents. They love waterfall enrichment. Look at all these recordings. And so let's just jump into my Clay. Let's jump into my Clay account together and take a look around. Let's take a look around. First off, very simple UI you see here, right? But let's go up. I mean, this is all the pricing is. It's just this. Like, it's a battery like my phone. I click it and it's like, okay, you're good or you're not. There's no per seat pricing. There's no feature-based upselling. It's all output driven. Like, what is the usage? Now, if you guys were on my webinars 2 years ago, if anyone was, I know some of you guys were, you would remember I'd always advocate for 3 pricing levers on your pricing page. You needed an upsell based off seats, an upsell based off features, and an upsell based off a number, right? Number of contacts, number of recordings, whatever. The winners in 2025 are going to kill the first 2 axes and be all in on the last. Just pure utility-based, output-based pricing, right? That is V1 of what a SaaS driven by an agent is your pricing effectively per output. And Clay is leading this. Kyle Pollier's newsletter has a great article on this in terms of everyone thinking more about how can you price per outcome. So let me ask you guys, I'm going to challenge you. If you had to price per some outcome you deliver for a client, what is that outcome? Like, put it in the chat. What is that outcome? What is that outcome? Can I put somebody on the spot? James Benson, because you're a friend and we hung out in Austin together and I know your wife. Can I pick on you? Unmute yourself. What would the output be for you guys? What is that one value driver you give to customers?
The message traffic for our healthcare data.
Healthcare. Okay, so say that one more. So message data for messages sent by healthcare providers back to patients?
Correct. Back and forth.
Okay, that's a good one. Right? Todd is number of college lists, price per website lead. Mary Beth, number of calls. Yep, you guys, you're right in it, right? This is the future of pricing. So just think about that as you think about your 2025 pricing plan. And then lastly, how do you build a powerhouse media brand in 1 hour a week? I start right here. So just so you guys all see like the end output of this, everything I do in Cast Magic, it all eventually ends up on Get Latka. And when I go in here to Get Latka and I go and look at, like, let me just show you guys like search volume for a second, right? And let's do the last, couple weeks. You can see here, guys, are these free clicks or paid clicks? Put in the chat. Are these free or paid clicks? Exactly. This is all earned, guys. Yeah, Ben's like, it's insane. This, guys, is earned. If I was paying $10 a click, that means I spent $1.6 million the past 3 months on ads. I got it for free. Well, how are we doing that? It all comes down to this content machine that starts right here for me. So what I want you guys to think about is look at this diagram and think about the one thing you love doing. For me, it's podcasts. That is my one unit of input. It's one 20-minute input to record. Everything else is driven by contractors and stacks of tools like Cast Magic. Right? Riley, just because you have great energy, I can feel like I'm on the screen. Are you doing any kind of content like this? Unmute yourself. YouTube, video, podcast, anything?
We do webinars kind of infrequently, but podcast is on the roadmap.
Okay. What do you enjoy more? What do you get the most energy from personally?
Well, I haven't done a podcast yet, but I think I would enjoy that.
Okay. Well, test it and test all these things. But whatever you enjoy the most should be the input to your machine. And then let the machine sort of like do the rest, which you can see here. This is what it means when it says deploying content at scale. Now, are you guys, anyone curious on what our revenue was on Get Latka last month? Do you want to see that, how the machine actually works? Remember, there's no full-time employees over there. So if you want to see revenue, I'll do a quick 2-minute diversion, thumbs up. If not, we'll wrap. Okay, not a ton of thumbs up. We'll maybe skip that part. All right, so wrapping up again, I showed you how to use Cast Magic, right, to build this out. These are those 2025 frameworks, how to think about agents and Cast Magic to save you from paying agencies. You save a lot of time. We talked about the pricing matrix there with Clay. And lastly, how to think about your one unit of input to your massive media brand. Okay, I'll end very quickly on revenue, okay? I obviously use Founderpath to track all of my metrics at Get Latka, right? If I go in here to view more, everything you see here before this spike, so going from 0 to 70,000 a month in revenue, was before Founderpath. Obviously, my focus shifted after that to Founderpath. But now, you guys can see there, it consistently does, right? It consistently does, let me zoom in, right? Consistently does between $20,000 and $30,000 a month in revenue with no full-time employees. It's a nice little side thing, right? And I get traffic and it builds my email list and I use all that to drive Founderpath's growth. Right? This is what we mean by building profitable distribution channels. Now, you could also go in here. I mean, I get addicted to this stuff, but you could actually click on these MRR values to see new MRR. You can click on customers. A lot of you use our valuation tool. I'm going to show you this. A lot of people don't know this exists inside of Founderpath, but can you guys see this right here? It's better than PitchBook. But doesn't cost $20,000 like PitchBook. If you have a Founderpath account, guys, click on your valuation tab. You'll see a bunch of real-time valuation data points flowing through real time, right? Can we maybe drop in the chat, if you haven't already, just a link to sign up for Founderpath for free? There we go. That link works, resources, but sign in, click valuation. And guys, if you want your actual valuation, what you want to do is go over here to integrations and connect. Like, you guys, can you read this number that I have highlighted right here? That my mouse is? What's that number? So, let me go back. Can you guys read that number? Yeah, exactly. That's how many companies are connected to Founderpath. We sit on almost $6 billion of ARR real time across thousands of SaaS companies. So you can just imagine when we're doing analysis internally and trying to figure out who's growing, who's not, what are the best tactics. Again, a lot of this we'd love to give you guys inside your own Founderpath account. So that's where you can check that out. So those are the frameworks we covered here in terms of what's going to be important in 2025. I just showed you how to get in there and check out your valuation. Guys, as we wrap up, we'll drop Luma /FP4 one more time in the chat. Guys, it's January 22nd will be our kickoff in the new year. We'll talk about who grew the fastest in 2024. We'll release our list of the fastest 500 bootstrap SaaS companies on that webinar. Again, lu.ma/FP4. But today, I had a blast spending all this time with you guys, focusing on first, how to add $1 million of new revenue, how to go viral even if your product's not viral, and lastly, what's going to be big in 2025. If you enjoyed this, give me some love in the chat. Put your hands together, guys. My name is Nathan Latka. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday, guys. Have a wonderful holiday. I'll see you January 22nd. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. See ya.